So editing Rob going mildly mama mode on you guys, mainly because of the fact that I could not figure out where to insert this in the video, but I did want to make you guys very aware. There is a new Universal Syndicate medallion that you guys are going to be finding in Disruption. Okay, listen, this is supposed to be in the Rob reads you shit that you don't want to read yourself, but unfortunately I already read it, but I'm probably still going to read it to you guys, but you should know about this. So that medallion for now is working on the main 6 syndicates, and I believe on a couple of the other ones. However, they do have plans on expanding the universality of that medallion, so I suggest you hold on to it because it is going to be one of the good ways to up your conclave standing without actually doing conclave. However, it is not currently live in game. You'll notice that if you read the patch notes. If you didn't read the patch notes, this is me just interjecting it real quick. Regardless, I'm gonna go ahead and let Pass Rob take it away so you can see all of the cool stuff that's coming in with this update. Boop. Hey, what's up, my speedy little Kiwis? This is Rob from Gay Guy Plays, and today on the Daily Grind, we're going to be taking a look at update 25.7 because the Saint of Ultra has finally arrived. Now, we are going to go over all of the little bits and bobs that are included in this, specifically the Gauss collection, the Harrow Deluxe skin collection, as well as some highlighted items that I really wanted to go ahead and show off. In fact, one of the things that I'm actually going to highlight is not necessarily the Gauss collection itself, but as you can see, there is a fancy little button that you can press right here to enter the Laverian. Now, I did this mistakenly on stream, and you know, I had my music blaring and I was talking to chat and I was like, whoa, what is this? So what I'm not going to do is give away all of the information there, but you can click the button yourself and take a look at exactly what's going on with the Laverian. So let's go ahead and jump into the actual stats screen for Gauss himself. Now, there's a couple things that I wanted to point out is you can see that at his stats, all of them are pretty basic. Armor, energy, and shields are all sitting at 150. His health is only at 100. But where he really shines is his sprint speed. His sprint speed is a confirmed 1.40, making him the fastest base Warframe in the game, at least as far as I can remember. In addition, for the short bit that I actually got to play him on stream, I do want to give you guys a heads up. His Mach rush is actually not completely sickening, where this is where you charge forward. You can just kind of push it real quick to give a little bit of a dash, or you can hold it down. I thought it would be worse. It's not. In addition to that, his passive actually works well with it, increasing your shield recharge rates as well as your shield recharge delay based on the amount of battery you have, and your Mach Rush does charge that battery. So I'm liking that very much. In addition, we also have the Exceltra and the Icarius. I actually want to go ahead and take you guys into the simulacrum real quick to show these off. But as you can see right here, Gauss also in his collection has a Syandana. Now, honestly, I don't love it, but I don't hate it. I kind of like the way that it attaches to his back. It kind of slots in really interestingly, but I'm not really sure exactly how that would work with the rest of the Warframes. And of course, what we're taking a look at right now is his alternate helm. So this is the Mag helmet, and I did confirm it. Mag has a Gauss helm, and Gauss has a Mag helm. I definitely think they're related. I'm going to be honest with you, both of them are extremely lean. I think that they're brother and sister. So as you can see right here, here is the base helmet that he comes with, and this is the Mag helmet. Now the other thing that I did want to point out, I'm not sure if this is going to be permanent or if they've tweaked this, but colors do seem to be a little bit off in this update. They did say they had put in some upgraded lighting, and I've gotten a lot of messages from people that are not necessarily happy with it because it really makes their metallics a bit washed out. I do agree with that at this point, but you never know, they might hotfix something in to make things look a little bit better. So definitely keep that in mind. And as we're moving, let's go ahead and jump into the simulacrum real quick so that we can go ahead and show off these weapons because they are very interesting. Now, I'm gonna let you know, you can actually find Gauss's all of his little bits and bobs, all of the parts that you need to build him over on SANDR on the new Disruption node. So if you're trying to figure out how to get Gauss, you can grab him from there. And then the 2 new weapons, the Exceltra and the something, whatever it's called. What is it? The Icarius. Both of them can be found in Uranus. on the disruption node over there. I don't exactly remember the names, but you'll be able to find it. Just look for disruption. So let's go ahead and start with the Exceltra. Take a look at its base stats. The critical chance is 32%. The critical multiplier is 2.8%. So it's very critical heavy weapon, because what you will notice is its status is only 6%. Very, very painful, but it is kind of what it is, which I guess kind of leans into the fact that it's only got, you know, a very small amount of slash that you get a lot of impact and puncture. Of course, you know, that's not the determining factor of the actual weapon itself, but I do kind of want to put it out there. It's not super duper heavy on that. I have a feature that I do want to point out on it, which I think is kind of cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower this down to a single bombard, and what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to pause him. So one of the things that you need to notice is we're not going to do a ton of damage. I do have a couple mods on this right now, but nothing too crazy. So what I'm going to do is, as you can see, it's actually a mini rocket launcher. So it shoots off all of these mini rockets that cause these explosions. As you can see, it does have like a guaranteed impact stagger. But one of the things I want to point out is, as you get closer, no explosions. So it actually has a detonation range of, let's test it out here. So I'm sitting at, let's go 5 meters. Here, 5 meters. So at 5 meters, nothing. There you go. So it was at about, I want to say like 7 meters. So I'm going to say like about anything after the 5 meter mark is probably where the explosions start happening and you get these really, really cool effects. The one thing that I do want to point out about the Exceltra is the fact that its max ammo is very low. It's not very high at all, so definitely keep that in mind. Now, at first, as I'm playing with it, this is definitely not going to be a weapon that's going to be shredding enemy armor, so it's probably going to be best used on things like the Infested, where they cluster really tight, or the Corpus, where they don't have the armored defenses, and you could probably bypass it with a lot of toxin damage. So keep that in mind. Also, when you sprint, the reload speed on this is faster. Its reload is only 2 on its own, but let's see if we can go ahead and shoot a couple shots real quick, just so that you guys can take a look at it. So that's its natural reload speed. But if we shoot a couple more shots, I'm gonna go ahead and sprint. And as I'm sprinting, we reload, and you can see that it goes a lot faster. I almost want to say that it's cut down by half on that. Next up, we have the Icarius. Now, this one is kind of the flip-flop of that. We have a status chance of 28%, but we only have a critical chance of 6% and a critical multiplier of 1.8. Now, this one I find to be very interesting because of the fact that it is a status-based explosive weapon. We don't necessarily get a whole lot of that, and I'm really interested to see how this works in this capacity. Its base damage is impact and blast, and this shares a very similar feature. To the previous weapon that we had just seen. Actually, I kind of left that enemy out there, but it's okay. So, as you can see right here, we shoot, and it kind of, they said that it kind of pauses real quick, but as you can see, all of these rockets actually home in on a target. So they kind of go, but we do get the occasional stray every now and then. Also note the amount of, the amount of ammo on this is also very, very low. So what you can actually use with this is you can actually use this to strip down the enemy armor just a little bit, maybe through the use of the status chance on it, and kind of like soften enemies up with this, and maybe even soften up groups of enemies with the explosives from this. But my whole thing is there's not enough ammo on it on its own to kind of give you guys like enough oomph to continuously kill off these enemies. You know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of like to soften them up or to kill lower level targets. Again, this also has the same feature where let's fire off a couple rounds, where it has a slower reload speed, but if you are sprinting, it's considerably faster. And I do believe that it's faster in Gauss's hands as well. So let me take a look at that real quick. Yeah, even more in Gauss's hands. For safety, rockets arm after traveling a safe distance. That's the Exceltra, and I believe that's the same to be true for the Icarius, because DE wanted to make sure to make a weapon that I didn't kill myself with. Now, let's take a look at the, the mods for this, so you can see the base polarities. They all have dashes. There are no V's on this one, so a part of me is like, ooh, it's really hard to mod, but that's what I was using, as you guys saw a little bit earlier, and then this was the setup that I was currently using with this unranked version. So clearly, you're gonna probably want to play around with modding stuff, because I don't need a double dash on the Icarius. Okay, so before we move on, I actually wanted to go ahead and show you Gauss's Mach Rush, and the big reason for that is you guys know I'm not a big fan of speedster frames, but when it's not being buggy, I actually quite like it. So as you can see right here, it's just a little dash, and I feel like that's totally manageable. It's like a little spurt of speed, and you know, I don't mind a little spurt here and there, right? But one of the things that I will make note is supposedly when you hold this ability down, what ends up happening is when you release it, you stop running. So see right there, I was holding it down for a little bit longer and I was able to get more of a run out of it. See, that start and stop. But for some reason, sometimes when you hold it down for a little bit longer, you just keep going. Don't know if that's meant to be a feature or exactly what's going on with that, like the longer you hold it, but I just don't quite understand, because right now I literally just tapped that and I'm still going. So I need to get the controls down just a little bit more, or maybe it's just I don't know, an input bug, but do be aware of that. Aside from that, the spurting, I don't mind the spurting whatsoever. I actually find that to be a little bit fun. So let's go ahead and take a look at Harrow Deluxe now. Alright, so as you can see, we have the Harrow Reliquary skin on, and it is pretty fucking gorgeous. You can see right through the skin, and if you look in the back, you can actually see through the chest, but I have the armor set equipped on as well. If you take a look through the back, you can actually see, like, I want to call it like an energy heart. I actually went ahead and didn't really do some customization, but I put it on a customization that had red on it, and it looks like a big blob of blood that's kind of beating. It's kind of nuts, and as you can see, the chest is open, so you can full on see that energy color. I'm really tempted to make like a blood version of Harrow, which totally fits his demeanor, but this, if you guys are curious, is just using my base customization. And I just absolutely freaking love the look of it. He looks so sinister. But in addition to that, you also get the new, what's it called, spear gun skin, which is called the Renutio spear gun skin. And it is freaking gorgeous. Look at it. It's so regal. I just love how kind of like thin and delicate it looks, but of course you're going to be zapping out beams of death with this, so definitely fond of that. One of the things that I do want to point on in addition to all of that is he also has an armor set that comes along with it, so you can see the little pieces on the shoulders. Let me go ahead and flip that off real quick. Flip that off. That's interesting. Let me go ahead and knock that out so you can see where it was actually sitting, and it's the Etheria chest plate. I really like it's got that same kind of energy flow that's going on along with that. The shoulder plates are sitting right over here. I actually really like them. Maybe we'll jump in a little bit more when we do the dress to kill, and I'll give you guys a bit of a closer look on that, but I did want to go ahead and show it off. For you guys real quick to see some of the additional features. So all of that is available. The only thing that I will say, it's kind of like hard to look at the knees, but I'm gonna do a little shake for you real quick. As you guys can see, it looks a little ramish, like ram hornish. It's very, very pretty. So if you guys are wanting a dress to kill on this, it'll probably come a little bit later this week after I've covered all of the other stuff that is currently going on. Now, the last little bits that I wanted to go ahead and show you guys are actually currently in the market. We'll jump into other topics because I do kind of want to point a couple things out that were in the, what's called the patch notes. But one of the big highlights is you can now buy Aura Forma. So that is something that if you need to get your hands on it and absolutely don't want to subject yourself to rezzing people in arbitrations, now you have a bundle, and as you can see, this bundle is $150 for a set of 3. On its own, you can buy them for 80 plat because, you know, DE gotta dip into your wallet. Speaking of dipping into your wallet, you can get the Shazwin. This is the Mimica Shazwin that you'll be able to use. And I believe that we've got a couple different other styles. So keep in mind, I believe whenever you get a Shazwin, you'll be able to get its, you'll be able to get all of the counterparts that go along with it. So there's the Nalumbo. There is the Dawn. You have your Dax Shazwin. And then you have your Mimica Shazwin. So that is going to be available for you. All of them are very, very pretty. If you want to play Guitar Hero with them, I really don't give a shit. I'll find them somewhere in my orbiter at some point in time. But the other thing that I wanted to show off is actually not on this page. There's an essential glyphs bundle of all of the other elements too. That's not what I'm talking about. But what you got to do is you got to go over here in your Kubro and Kavat accessories, because there is a new pack. There is the new pack. It is the prized companion skin pack. Now this is for the people that actually did the the prized companion contest, and they got the patterns of their pets in game, and it's so cute. So if you were looking for new colors for your Kavat and Kubro, this is definitely going to be it. So make sure you go ahead and check that out too. Now I've got a whole bunch of reviews that I got to do for these weapons. I've got a ton of leveling to do. I want to see how Gauss performs. So I'm going to let you guys go right here, but I do want to stress one thing, especially because we were talking about it in yesterday's video. Clearly, there are some things that Warframe needs to work on. And all of this stuff, while it provides a nice little distraction from all of those things, all of those issues that I had mentioned in my previous video still stand. Okay? But that doesn't mean that I also can't have fun with what's here for the time being. I like to have a little bit of both. Sometimes you gotta be a little bit serious, and sometimes you gotta lighten up just a little bit. So I'm glad that we were able to get our hands on this specific update today. If I'm not looking you in the eye, I'm sorry I'm talking to you, but I'm not looking you in the eye. It's because I'm trying to look for this damn Accelitra. But yeah, I just want you guys to know, on my channel, I always want to keep a balance of like well-placed constructive criticism, but also fun at the same time. Also keep in mind, there have been some dirty rumors that Rob thinks that fashion is content. It's something fun to do, but not necessarily true content. And anytime I refer to it as fashion frame being endgame, y'all know I'm just kidding, right? We call it dress to kill, not to dress stand in Captura. Alright, that's gonna do it for me for now. I gotta go level, and I will chat with you guys soon. So as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!